Welcome all to another live episode. So I've not done a live episode for more than a week. So I want to share with you what is going on at the moment. We have some new flowering plants. In this episode, I want to show you the fruits that I have. Much better now. I got some water. So I'm going to start in this block and take you around. And the first fruit is my chili fruit. Can you see red here? And right somewhere here. So my chili fruits are maturing, almost ready for harvest. You see this? So they start off as green, and now they are starting to turn their color to the red, the deep red. So this is the fat chili, the big chili. Hello, Homestead Aquarius. Nice to see you. Welcome. Come see the real picture, what is happening in my garden. So we haven't received the rains yet, but we've been told we should expect rains next week. Today in the morning when we woke up, it was a little bit cloudy. So the sun is not so hot today. So it was cloudy today. But the weatherman has said the rains will come, but for a very short time, and it won't be enough rain to grow crops that need rains to continue for a long period. It will rain for a very short period and then it will stop, which means we have to grow, we can only grow crops that mature faster, that have a short growing season. So most farmers have been told to select crops that will only take a short time to grow. It is so dry, so dry. I'm always showing you my Dovialis Cafra. The Dovialis rarely dries. Even in between the rainy seasons, it remains green. But look at this. It is dry. I see your message. You're asking whether I'm still using some. Right now, what I've done some modifications. I haven't put bottles in the ground, but let me show you the bed that I've modified. So coming to this other block, let me set you down here. So what you see here that I should be harvesting next week is a bed with okra and cowpeas, and it's green. And you notice all around it's so dry. Behind me it's so dry, but here I created a sunken bed. So to create this sunken bed, I put a sheet underneath. There's a sheet underneath. You dig a hole, you dig a deep hole. You have to consider how deep the roots will go. So you dig a deep hole, you put a sheet underneath, and you return the soil. So I've created like a huge underground container. So the little water that I get from the kitchen, I come and water the area. And at least you see I have green. I've managed to sustain this green patch with very little water, because I'm not losing a lot of water. No water is seeping into the ground. The water is so little. So even when it rains, I know I will have a lot of water being held by the sheet underneath. So they will grow so well. And the cowpeas, the fresh cowpeas leaves are almost ready for harvest. So soon, I think by next week, but I'd love for them to get at least some rain. If they can get some rain, they will blossom so beautifully before I harvest them. So that is one of the modifications I've done. I haven't grown anything. I haven't put any container underground. And the other thing is that you will notice most of my crops are in containers. When you watch my previous videos, you'll notice that I used to grow in the ground directly. Everywhere I used to grow in the ground directly. But right now you'll notice that I have so many containers all around the garden. Let me move back. So look at these ornamental trees. Look at how dry they are. And the weatherman has said the rains that we are going to receive, they won't even be sufficient to counter what the drought has done. The soil moisture is so low. And here I've shown a video before to show you how our soil becomes hard clumps. Right now, if I take let me set you here. Let's come right here. So if I dig down, this is how our soil is right now. It is so dry. This is how our soil is, so dry. So right here where I'm standing is another sunken bed, and I have some capsicum. I want to put some capsicum here. They are ready. But if I take a jembe and dig down, this is what you get. Hard clumps. So the rains that are coming will be so little, they won't be able to counter the effect of the drought. We have to experience heavy rains before the soil moisture can come back up to an optimum level to be able to grow crops comfortably. Because you don't need to water crops every day. Once the soil soaks in enough water, they just grow well. But right now it is this dry. If I get a jembe and dig down, you will see how dry it is. So we'll be receiving minimal rainfall. And right there, you see this container. I filled this container to put to grow some sweet potatoes. But here, the sun is about to get to this part, so the soil heated up so much that the container was just destroyed because of the sun. It became so hot. I even tried putting some cotton, but it couldn't hold because of the very high temperatures. So it means right now I have to look for stronger containers. If they are very light, they will not be able to withstand the sun. You see how it's cracking? It cannot be able to withstand the high heat here. It's cracking so bad because of the sun. But now what I've done is I have a lot of containers. I've created sunken beds, and I'm also trying to grow crops. Instead of placing the container up, lifting the container high up. I will show you. So here, let me set you here. Yes. If I get more homestead Aquarius, if I get more cardboard, I use it on the ground to cover. Apart from cardboard, let me show you this bed. Apart from cardboard, so this green patch here, there are 2 crops. So at least the crops manage to cover the ground. So it's not so dry. And here I'm also doing some corn, some beans, and some amaranth. There's amaranth. So at least when they grow, they will be able to cover the ground. Because getting mulch is still a problem. So how do you get mulch? Look at the ornamental trees. Then there is no grass. Grass is it's like so precious. So I've not seen grass growing like this. Look at my carrots. You see this grass? It's precious now. We've not seen grass growing like this for long. This is precious. And you see, by the way, let me tell you something. Now we have some guard dogs around, and sometimes they want to eat green. So what you see here, this corn that is the top is cut like this, it's the dog that comes to cut this, looking for green things to chew. You see, they can't get grass. The ground is dry. And you're asking whether I can use the leaves. Okay, now here, let's go to this bed. Here I have watermelon. Yes, the dogs. In fact, the dogs chewed my young sunflower seedlings, but at least they survived. These ones were chewed by the dogs. In another live episode I showed how they chewed the young sunflowers. And this, you see these droppings, these ones come from the grevillea tree. So this is what I can put. You can see my bed has that, the droppings from the grevillea tree to get mulch, because it's so hard to get mulch. Outside there is no mulch. I don't know if you can see outside right now. You can look outside, you can see outside through the fence, which is usually so thick. You see how dry the ground is? Let me try and get. You see how dry the ground is? There is no grass. There is no stubble growing. It is dry and dusty and windy. You see outside? Dry and dusty and windy. So I'm depending on the leaves of this Dovialis scapha, the dry leaves, which sometimes if you go take, they have a lot of thorns. So it's not so easy to get the leaves for mulching from that. Look at this other tree, it is dry. So the other tree where I get the, you see this is the grevillea tree. And look at how it is. So I have to wait for it to drop some leaves so that I can use some mulch in the garden. Look at this tree. I have to wait for it to drop some leaves to get something to just cover the ground. So here, I think here you will be able to see the sheet I'm referring to. Let me move a little bit further. You see this? So this sheet runs deep. Is there a way I can bring leaves and sticks from outside? So what I'm trying to say is that outside it is also dry. It is also dry. It is dry. The hedges are dry. The trees are dry. There is no way I can go get grass. I can cut it from outside and bring it inside. It is dry. Look at this. This is a very beautiful, beautiful bush that gives a sweet smell. When you sit here in the evening, I've forgotten the name of this. I think it's in one of my past videos. When you sit here in the evening, it gives a very nice smell. But it is dry. So I'm trying to get to a place where I can show you. So you see the brown outside. You see there. That is how dry the ground is. And it is like that. I did share a video on the truth about mulching, and at least I gave a clip showing my background, how dry it is outside. There is no grass. There is no grass. It is so dry, so dry. You see? So this is the tree I have to depend on to drop its leaves. This is the grevillea tree. So dry. And on another side, for this where we have the grey water running, at least the Dovialis scapha has some fruits. You see this? So I will share a video. I want you to see the fruit. I don't know if you have seen the fruit. This fruit, it is edible, but there are not so many on this side. On the other side, where there's the grey water system, we have some more fruits. So these fruits have a lot of benefits. Most people don't know about the benefits of this fruit. Yes, on the other side of the kitchen, we have some grey water. The grey water is at least keeping the Dovialis scapha on that side. It's maintaining its green. So here I have my sunflowers to attract the pollinators. And the issue is still I'm getting more fruits. Oh, and by the way, my cucumber. Right now my cucumber has some fruits, but again, it seems like there's an issue with pollination. So here I have cucumber, and look at this. This is not how it's supposed to be normally. And this is also another issue of incomplete pollination. So there's still a problem with pollination, but I've tried so much to grow some plants that attract some good pollinators to the garden. So these are my sunflower plants. Yes, I can get plastic sheeting in rolls and then put them down. But right at the moment, I've just reused some sacks, some bags that we use for shopping, so that is what we save. You can even get the plastic sheet, but they are a little bit expensive at the moment. For me, I can't afford to buy some rolls at the moment. But that is what I will invest in more, because I've seen that if I cover even more areas, create more sunken beds, all these that you see that are growing are green, these are all sunken beds. They have a sheet underneath. That one also has a sheet underneath. So that is why it is growing. So I'm planning on getting some. I don't know how soon, because they are a bit expensive to get. They're a little bit expensive. So if I get some good amount of money, I will invest in one big roll. So all this is green because there's a sheet underneath. And right at the edge, I don't know if you can see, at the edge I have some mint. Also with an interesting story. Let me get you closer so that you see. You are seeing green. Can you see? So this is mint. And this is one of my container modifications. So I started mint, but so many of the cuttings that I brought could not survive the high heat. So you see all this is dry. I only had one that remained on this side. So this is the one that is growing. It has even surprised me it has survived. So I used to protect it from the hot sun using this, and now it has come up. I used to just cover it like this. I come and cover the mint. So I know from this I will get a lot of mint. And all this, it was mint. The soil here is called black cotton soil. And for the black cotton soil, for you to be able to grow food, it needs a lot of water, because it dries up so hard. It forms big clumps. I haven't seen many people making bricks around this area, maybe in the villages, but there I think it's not this type of soil. In the villages it's more, they have more of a mix of the good loamy clay soil, a good mix to make some good blocks. Here, because of the soil becomes so hard and clumpy, so hard, and the moisture is so low that if you try to dig down, you will just see some hard clumps. Some very, very hard clumps. Let me get a jembe. So if you dig down, I don't know whether you can see here. Let me check whether you'll be able to see where I'm digging. So it's hard. You see? what is coming from under there. You see how it is? See? Very hard. That's why the weatherman said the rains will be so little, like less than 300 millimeters, which means there won't be, the minimal rainfall will not penetrate deep into the ground to be able to counter the effect of the drought. This is how dry it is. So how do you expect roots to penetrate this if you just pour a little water, little rainfall, and the roots cannot penetrate this hard ground. It is hard, hard like stone. So hard. See? See? How do plant roots penetrate such? So that is how it is down there. So it's a lot of modifications I have to do to be able to get green in the garden. I'm even surprised I have a lot of green. So around the edges, you're asking about around the edges. I also tried getting some mulch to put around the edges. The issue is getting that mulch is so look at this bed. You also notice that here I have some of the grevillea leaves. I also have some leaves I get from in a different block. I have the hibiscus tree. So it remains green because it's partially shaded on that other side. So that is what I use the colorful droppings to cover my sunflower plants. But the ants come in and they break it down. So you have to keep on topping more mulch. So when I get more mulch, I bring it. So around the edges, you see, I tried putting this. Then when I weed inside the bed, so that is what you find on the edges. But right inside, you will see the soil is not that dry. You see, you can pinch the soil. It is not that dry inside. So I've managed to maintain this green because of that sheet underneath. And here I also have some okra fruits. I have some okra already growing. So I'm going to harvest the fresh leaves. This is a nice, nutritious vegetable. I'm going to harvest the fresh leaves and then grow some more cowpeas because they function also to add nitrogen to the soil. So my okra is getting the nutrients it needs. That's so kind of you, Homestead Aquarius. Thank you for your support. So my carrots are doing well, and here I have eggplant. This is eggplant. And for this eggplant, if you look, you will see there are two plants. What I did, when the seedling was small, I cut off the top. Then if I bring you closer so that you can see, I cut off the top and I let it grow, I let it branch out. So now it's branching out from this is 1 and this is 2. So what I've managed to do is to increase the fruits that I'm going to get from this eggplant. Thank you, Homestead Aquarius. So I cut it off. I don't know whether you can see. Try and get closer. How will I show you? The original plant is down here. The original stem is down here. You see? Yes, this where my finger is pointing. So I cut it from that point and I let it branch out from the side. So it is branching out from the side, and now I'm going to get more fruits from this. And then you notice there are some pests, but I also planted some garlic on the side. So I did some companion planting to keep the pests away. So it has some garlic on the side to keep the pests away. That is garlic. So I am expecting some good fruits as the plant is growing. So there was no need also to remove some more flowers because I had already cut the plant, and these are now, the stems are shooting up to give me more fruits. Then I have my carrots here that I didn't thin. I transplanted these carrots and I shared that method, and I asked people to tell me which one do they prefer. Do they prefer thinning carrots or transplanting? Because some people say transplanting carrots is it's so hard and impossible, but I shared my method, how to do it. So those are my carrots, looking good, and at least now we can get grass. This one is now rare, so hard to get grass. All around here it is dry. Then at the end here I have my zucchini, which is still producing so many. All the flowers you see today, I went around and I checked, they're all male flowers. There are no female flowers. All male flowers. And I've just done some reading, and the male flowers is due to temperature. When you get your temperatures go so high, it means that you'll be getting so many male flowers. Homestead Aquarius, please send me some grass. I will appreciate. Please send a truckload of grass. Because it's dry. Look at this. It's dry. Huh? At least you should expect some grass, just even if you have done nothing. And remember, the very last video I posted before I went quiet for some time. Then I posted when I came back, because I was unwell for a very long time. I couldn't post any videos. I couldn't get to the garden. Remember, I said I wanted to plant some nice grass here. I remember how I came into this block and I was showing you how I want to do some nice grass all over here. I tried planting grass, but nothing. The rains were too scanty, very low rainfall, and it could not grow. So right now I have some drought resistant plants. I've added more snake plants. If you look at the edges, that is a pineapple. If you look at the edges, I have snake plants. So at least the snake plant is not dying. Let me move back. I have snake plant, and I also have aloe vera. I have aloe vera there. That is aloe vera. Aloe vera, there's some aloe vera right at the end. And here I'm doing some snake plants. Yes, they're still struggling, but some are growing, so they don't die. They don't die because of they just need some little water. So I know the little rains that you're going to get, they're going to be sufficient for the snake plant. And I also have some succulents. I've never shared a video of my other succulents and my ornamental plants, but I will do in due time. You see, this is so this tree that you see here is the same tree right there. That's where I'm pointing. So here it gets some partial shade, and that is why you see it is like this. I shared another video, at least it was a little bit more green, and now it's still turning. It was a little bit, it's now becoming more yellow because of the water stress. See, the same tree that is there, that one is so dry because it will get the sun the whole day. There's nothing to shade it, so it has lost a lot of moisture. It will remain so dry. Here I have a watermelon, and there's another project I'm doing here. I will show you. There I have my potatoes also, and for these potatoes there's also a sunken, like an underground container. An underground container. Here, these are tiles. Concrete tiles. These are concrete tiles. Here, let me just show you this side. I have rubber plants. I have colliers. I have a succulent. I have snake plants. I have some beautiful succulents. I have money plant that is growing. And those are also other succulents. And these are other starts that I hide them here because the birds are attacking the starts in the garden. I have some beetroot. I have some eggplant. I have a sunflower seed that somehow dropped inside here. I have tomatoes. Oh, and the succulents. I need to show you my succulent starts. The tiny, 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 beautiful. Yes, it's so cool. So right here where I am, you see this? See this? So those are my other starts. I'll share a video in due time. I also have a hanging pot here. Here, inside it is cool. Inside it is so cool. Outside it is hot. Outside it is hot. Then I have passiflora. The passiflora is looking good. So let me just try and get there first. It's in partial shade. At least it's looking good. So here we have tiles. Then I start my garden here. So for the garden I have 3 blocks. So I've already shown you what is on this block. The sunflower, the underground container with the potatoes. I've already shared a video on that. This is watermelon that is now flowering. So I hope I will get good pollinators as the sunflowers continue growing. I hope I will get more pollinators because the low population of pollinators has already... Can I get any of those tiles? Yes, I can. Or maybe I can, I think there's a place I can get the tiles. I can get the tiles. I think they would be useful to cover the garden around. Let me show you this other side. Let me show you this other side first before I show you where it is somehow covered. And my hibiscus tree, at least it can show signs of getting so much water. So look at this block. This is all dry. This is a different block. But I don't have enough water to come and water all this side. So I'm just timing the rains. I've already prepared. I've added some compost and manure. So I'm just timing the rains. So here you see the ground is covered, and we left that space to grow the hibiscus tree. So this one, it gives me some droppings. So these droppings, this is also what I use. And that is the grey water system. But we don't have a lot of water right now. Now look at the grey water system. Look at this space, how it is dry. So these dry leaves, I also come and collect them and put them. These dry leaves, you see, this is all the grey water system. I collect the dry leaves and cover, at least use them as mulch. So the water runs all through here, but now it is dry. So we have so the water we have is so little that even what we are using in the house, we have to minimize. So it is dry. And now look at this side where there's a grey water system. This is now the Dovialis Cafra with fruits. I don't know if you can see the fruits. Here there are more fruits. And you see it is green. So here I have more fruits because the plant is close to the grey water system. It runs from here, this side, and I want to show you that is the pomegranate tree. It's so dry. We got some fruits, but they were cracking. I've already prepared a video to show you about the pomegranate tree, what happens. So if drought comes to your area, this is the pomegranate tree, no fruits. And the ones at the top, the birds are just enjoying the fruits because that is where they get their water also. So this is a different block. At least you can see some green, and the green you're seeing is because of the grey water system. This one at least is showing some signs of some water, because all around you see it has these blocks, these concrete blocks. So the little water you come and pour there, at least not much is being lost. Then this area will be shaded. In the afternoon, this area will be shaded. Then look at this. This is which tree is this? This is bougainvillea. Have you ever seen bougainvillea this dry? Look at this. The bougainvillea that remains always with flowers and the beautiful leaves like this. Look at how dry it is. So dry. So the green that you're seeing is because of the grey water system. And this grey water system, I tried to reroute it through that side, but it doesn't get that far. It gets to that end. It doesn't get so far. So this block is dry. This is also passiflora. The passion, it's holding on. I know it will really shoot up when you get some rains. And look at the and this is amaranth. Because I want to harvest some amaranth grain. You can enjoy amaranth either as the fresh leaves or the grain. But this is the state right now. And look at how dry my ornamental trees. These are trees that remain evergreen, but they are that dry at the moment. Look at this. They are always green, but right now, dry. That is amaranth. That is Dovialis. So let's get to this block. And right here, there's a highly requested video about potatoes from scrap. These potatoes are growing from scrap. This, and I've also planted some more peels here. So this, I'm growing potatoes from potato peels. These are potatoes from scrap. The peels. There's one that is trying to, this one did not shoot up. So some of them have shot up, and right now I think it is the right time to do some healing up, adding some soil. Yes, I love passiflora too. It's a good drought resistant crop. Here I have some more ginger. Oh, and by the way, ginger can survive with some good shade. So here, see my ginger, and some have shot up just recently. Is it 2 days ago? You see, this is ginger, and there's another one that has shot up. So this is my ginger. Wow, it takes a long time to grow, but the experience will be good. You see, it's shooting up. And you don't need, the good thing is that you don't even need deep containers for ginger. This is sufficient because they will spread laterally, horizontally. So that one is good. So here on the bench, all these are cucumber plants. And you can see there's a cucumber right here. There's a fruit here. I've already shared the first video. I will share the next video either this or next week. So those are my cucumber plants. I'm hoping the pollinators are doing a good job, because if pollinators are not doing a good job, that's why you saw that cucumber that has some yellow lines instead of a good cucumber fruit. So this is cucumber, growing cucumber during droughts. Remember, the humidity is so low. And that is why you also see some of my plants. Have I shown you my, I will show you my avocado seedling. It's like the leaves are just getting scorched because the humidity is so low. So here I have sunflower. Right at the end there, this is sunflower. Also I've started sunflower at different points to try and attract the pollinators. This is also bougainvillea. Look at this, how dry. If you watch my past videos, here I had created an organic tunnel. I made a tunnel using the bougainvillea, and I could plant under it. I did some lettuce. I did share an update. If you remember that video, the lettuce in organic tunnel, I planted it here, and the bougainvillea tree had covered here so well, and my other ornamental trees here, these ones that I cut, they had covered this area so well that you could get some shade. Like here, I've also created some shade. I think in the last live episode I said I will bring some, I can have some more containers of lettuce growing under here because of the good shade. So right now, this is the state. This is the real picture, the drought. And here I have some traditional vegetables. Also, so okay, now this is another type of container. So you see here, if you noticed, I did share this when I was harvesting the sweet potatoes. I did some sweet potatoes back here. I have already shared the video. So these are like big containers in the garden. So all round, all through like this, here you see that there is a sheet underneath. Then I'm reusing the old tires to create some big containers. So I put the sheet underneath, you put the big container and fill it with soil, then you can grow. So we've harvested this is collards that have come to the end. We really harvested them all along here. This was harvesting all along. So they've come to the end. So I was just removing them. I uprooted them so that I can plant something here. I hope the rains. But I think what I will do, I will have some more, I've started some more beetroots, some more vegetables, plants that don't need, they don't take a long time. And even because I've started them early, before the rain start, and with my little water, once the rain start, at least they will have water for a longer period. So that's my strategy. This is amaranth growing in this container. So there's a sheet underneath. So I've created these big containers. So in the other block also there is a sheet. And you notice where there's a point where that edge, there is no sheet underneath, and the plants have really struggled. I don't know whether you can see. Let me just try and get closer as I finish off. So this is cabbage. Also here there is a sheet underneath. And now the other issue is that the birds cannot leave my greens alone. This is where they come to get their greens. Even this from the beetroots. Look at this. So these are beetroots and what are they called? Forgotten the name. That I've planted at the side. What are they called? I've forgotten the name. They are good companion plants. They are beets and let me just recollect my thoughts. I will remember. Here I come save my ash. I'm always using ash. Ash is so important, especially when growing your sunflowers. I'm always adding ash because the ash will help to unlock the nutrient boron nutrient. Boron is responsible. If you want some nice good sunflower heads, look at the bee. If you want some nice good sunflower heads, you need your plants to access boron, some strong plants. And remember here I'm using salty water. And salty water, continuous use of salty water will lock up the nutrients. So I always use the ash to unlock the nutrients. This is sweet potato and this is also ginger that has not shot up. And right there, this bed does not have a sheet underneath. And look at the struggle. Even the lemongrass could not survive. This is the struggle. So at least where I have a sheet underneath, they were growing and now they've come to the end. It's just removing them and getting them ready for the next plant. Here I save my ash. And finally my this one is flowering. This one is also flowering, so it's good time for the rains. Here I have groundnuts in a container. So these are my groundnuts, and I did see a flower yesterday somewhere. So these are groundnuts. More groundnuts. More sunflower. These are potatoes and a bean. There's some beans I planted on the side. These ones have already done healing up, so the potatoes have already started falling over. Here I think I'll add some little composts. So in this area I do my cold composting. This is where all the kitchen waste, it comes here. So I just I dig down and get what is down, turn it just like that. It's easy and fast for me. And right here, these are some more sheets I've been collecting from construction to just plant more things in my garden. And this is my climbing bean. So far, so good. Thank you so much for watching this live episode. I will try to do more live episode, and I want to go live when it's raining. At least we can celebrate together. We can celebrate together once it's raining. So people always argue whether does it go clockwise or anti-clockwise. So this is the one. The plant is saying the truth. So that's all for this live episode. I need to work. I have some capsicum seedlings. I have what are they called? Pumpkin seedlings that I have to grow. I have some sheets I have to fill. So that will be all for this episode. Thank you for your support. Thank you, Homestead Aquarius. See you next live episode.